Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our May Member Connect. I'm really excited to be coming to you this morning, talking to a longtime member, one of our friendliest, greatest members that we have. I've really looked forward to this Member Connect, talking about their 20th anniversary. That member, as you can see, I guess it's over here in the graphic, is the Turnip Truck. And John Dyke, who is the owner. John, it's great to see you this morning.
Yes, good morning, Joe.
How are you?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
I'm good. It's been a busy day so far, but this is the highlight of my day, so I'm glad I'm here now. I've been looking forward to talking to you more about the 20th anniversary of the Turnip Truck, but about the Turnip Truck in general and all of the challenges and issues you faced as one of the most successful business owners in the city, running a small business. We're going to cover a lot today. So let's get started. Tell everybody about the Turnip Truck and how it came to be.
Well, about 22 years ago, I decided that I wanted to open a natural food store. I have lived the East Nashville area, but I kept shopping on the other side of town at the old Sunshine Grocery, and this was before Wild Oats, and this was before Whole Foods that we know of as our natural food grocers in town. What I kept seeing every time I would go to Sunshine Grocery are my neighbors from East Nashville. So I've lived in East Nashville 30 years. I saw my neighbors over on Belmont, and I decided East Nashville deserves something like this. I was in surgical sales, so I spent my last 2 years of surgical sales going to natural food expos and just immersing myself, learning as much as I could about natural foods. So in year 2000, I get confused on these 2000s. I decided to leave my job in surgical sales. I located a location in East Nashville. It was on 10th and Woodland, and we were there for 15 years. And I created the Turnip Truck in less than 3,000 square feet. My focus at that time was really to work with organic local farmers when in season, and that was the focus of the store, was around produce. But however, it was around a lifestyle, and that lifestyle also included supplements. And I always used to tell people, take supplements when you need to supplement what you take inside of your body that you're not getting, and then change your diet to get the food that heals your body. So that was in the very, very beginning. 2008, as we knew the economy was going down at that time. However, I jumped in and opened a second store. It was 2010. I started the conversation in 2008, and we opened the second store in the Gulch area on 12th Avenue South in 2010. And so we've been there for 10 years. And then a few years later, I was outgrowing the space on 10th and Woodland, and decided that we really needed to add more options into our store, such as a full-service juice bar, a full-service deli that included a hot food bar, a salad bar, a full-service meat department that was focusing on local meats when possible, grass-fed beef. We had the opportunity at that time to add wine as well, because grocery stores were allowed to start selling wine. And so we moved a location down 3 blocks down to 7th and Woodland, and we increased our size by 5 times. And I've always, about East Nashville, I happen to own the store, but I always wanted this to be the community store. So I always tell everyone, is like, this is your all store. Tell me how you wanted to develop it. I happen to own it, but this is your all store. Help me develop it on what you want to see with options and stuff. And then we had a third opportunity last year. We found an amazing location. It was on 50th and Charlotte. It's 5001 Charlotte, right near Thistle Farms. And we bought the property there. We started on the property. It's a little bit larger than the East Store, but it has every option. It's a complete full service grocery store. One thing I'm really proud of, looking at that picture that you just popped up, Joe, one of the things is that we harvest 15% of our electricity for that building. We place solar panels on the building, and we're generating 15% of power for that building. But it is 100% full service. I love the idea that it's right beside Richland Park. It's very similar to our other store that is right beside East Park. I feel that we have this whole city living that they complement each other in many ways. I will jump back to the East Store. One thing that we have amazing on the East Store, we have 8 honey beehives. And
oh, wow.
The ecosystem I feel that is generating from the East Park, but it was very critical for us and for us to have the bees, because without the bees, we wouldn't really have the food. So those are 2 exciting things that we've done. And yes.
So John, real fast, let's go through
yes.
these pictures. This is
yes.
the East Nashville store, correct?
That is correct, at 701 Woodland Street.
All
and
right.
This is the one that has 8 honeybee hives. And currently today, as we're speaking right now, we are doing rooftop planning with native pollinators for bees. So the overhangs that you see in the picture, and I'm trying to point at them, but I know you guys can't see me pointing. So we're doing native pollinators for the bees as well, but also to soften up the building and really become as green as a building as we can.
All right, so then what's the next one? Lauren, there we go. So this was the first one, right? This is the one.
That was actually the second store, Joe. Our first store was at 10th and Woodland.
Okay.
Where Burger Up was before the tornado.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes.
And then this is the one in the Gulch.
And this is the one in Gulch that opened in 2010.
Okay. So there's the Gulch. How's the Gulch doing? I mean, you guys were there before the Gulch was the Gulch as we know it. How's that store doing?
So the Gulch is doing great. We had our little setbacks through last year. Our business model there is very dependent on tourists, and it's also very dependent on people that work downtown every day. And as we know, the tourists pulled back. The everyday going to work pulled back some. But we have a sustainable model that we were able to open it up for the community to be able to have another shopping option. It was a little bit less crowded than some of your larger box stores. And many people enjoyed that because they felt the safety of coming in, that it wasn't an extremely crowded store, but it had all the options they needed inside the store.
Mm-hmm. Lauren, let's show that Charlotte one, the newest. There's East. It's that one. There we go.
Yeah,
so there's Charlotte. There's the newest. John, I want you to talk about the opening of Charlotte, because we've been talking for a lot this last year, because tell everybody what happened right before Charlotte was supposed to open, and then what happened the year that we've been living in regards to Charlotte.
So, during the middle of Charlotte store opening, it was in March, and we had a slated date for March to get open. However, as many know, the East Nashville was hit by a tornado. And when East Nashville got hit by a tornado, we lost electricity for a couple of weeks, but I didn't sleep for 2 days after the tornado hit. So I'm taking us back to East, which will build into the story that I'm going into. By 2 p.m. the very next day after the tornado had happened, I had a generator that powered our entire building. My drive for getting the East Store reopened that day was that we needed a community center, a place where people could come and get food, that they could come and recharge their cell phones, etc. Finally got it up around 2 o'clock, and Adam my CFO pulls me in the office, and he said, "John, we have another big issue." he said our warehouse that we were storing equipment in for the new Charlotte store, we had about $60,000 in food service equipment, was completely flattened. It was located right next door to John C. Toon Airport. So I get the generator up, we get the store open, we get the doors open, I get in my car and I go, and it was completely flattened. We saw bits and pieces of equipment just laying here and there. Some of it looked salvageable, some of it didn't. And we spent the next week, me, my husband, and another work employee, and we dug through rubble and we salvaged what we could. So we ended up getting three or four deli coolers out. All of our grocery carts were completely gone. I really didn't know what to do, but I knew that I had to keep digging. So the following week, I went back into these stores. I've been digging. I was in jeans, and it kind of got chilly that following week. So I was in a coat, and I was just covered with dust and dirt. And I walked in the store, and I looked around, and I had never seen so many people in the store with so many baskets as full as they were, and so many people in line to get checked out. And I went to one of my employees and I'm like, what is going on? So this is how oblivious I was, because I was coming home at night without no connection to the news, to television. I knew that we were hit with the tornado. I knew COVID was coming because I had previously canceled a trip to California to our Natural Food Expo. I had no idea. They informed me. So we made a quick shift with everything. Still having focus on Charlotte. So I did move away from Charlotte. I'm like, oh gosh, we have to get the store open. We have to get it open for the community. They need this access to natural groceries, but even just any type of grocery, they need it in their neighborhood where they're not having to drive outside of the Sylvan Park, the Nation area. And we were caught in a catch-22 at that point. The catch-22 was, even the local government had shut down. We did not have all the final documentation signed off that we could operate. We didn't have a temporary it's called temporary
occupancy. Yeah.
Thank you. We did not have our final inspection, and I will say I reached out to Will Cheek, and Will Cheek went and magically helped me make people act, because they realized how critical it was to get us open. So we did open the store in the third week of March in the middle of COVID. We were in the middle of every day getting trucks in, unloading them, and the staff, my new staff there, kind of basically locked themselves in the building, and they went home at night, and their goal was to get this up and working. The other thing that I felt in the middle of this, that I had hired additional 80 new employees to the Nashville area. Wow. That I didn't want to furlough either. I just didn't want to say, hey, we hired you, I'm turning my back on you now. I didn't want to turn my back on the employees, and I did not want to turn my back on the community as well. So we pushed through. With that being said, I was very fortunate. I got on the auction, and I found the checkout counters that were destroyed. I got them from Earth Fair. They were almost brand new. I got some produce things. I just magically made everything work, and it just seemed like everything fell in place. We got it open, and it was great. I know, Joe, we planned on having a grand rainbow ribbon cut. And I'm like, Joe, we have to wait. And however, we did that exactly 1 year later, which was a very magical day.
We did exactly 1 year. 1 year of your opening, we came back and did the rainbow ribbon cutting, and we got to walk around and take a look at the Charlotte store. And we got to start talking about this, which is your 20th anniversary. I want to talk more about the 20th anniversary, but I want to go back after hearing the history of the stores and how you have built. You started with one, and then you expanded in East and built one from scratch, bringing in everything you wanted to bring in. And then you went over to West and created the Charlotte store, and then the challenges of that. I want to go back to what you first started with. Is you were working, doing something completely different. You had an idea, you saw a need, and when we talk to small businesses or we talk to entrepreneurs, or I hear from entrepreneurs, taking that first step is the hardest. It's the scariest. Can you elaborate more on that, about that journey from doing something completely different to going for it and, having a dream, having a vision, and making it happen?
Yeah, it was a very scary time. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was fortunate enough to meet a couple individuals in my 2-year journey trying to figure out what I was going to do. And one of them was at a natural food expo that I sat in a seminar, and at the end of the seminar, it was like a 2-hour seminar. I chased him down the hallway and was like, "Hey, I need you. I need to talk to you." And he has been a mentor, but he's also been a consultant for me. And I utilize him. I actually brought him back on board to consult because we've had some growing pains in the last couple of years, of growing pretty fast. And, going from original 12 employees to 180 employees, it's pretty challenging. I was also able to work with someone that had started the original natural food store in Nashville that was on Lyle and Broadway. And he sold his Sunshine Grocery to Wild Oats. And he mentored me for the first couple months. He showed me how to actually place an order, how to look how things moved. I had no idea how to do any of this. So I had some really great help. I will say, Joe, the most challenging place where I could not sleep at night was in the first 3 years. I was undercapitalized. I had used credit cards. I had to sell my automobiles. I went and bought a used car. I got rid of my cable. I worked 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day, but I dug in. I probably could have retired from the mistakes that I made, but I think some of those mistakes are the most valuable learning tools that I've made, and I think that's where I didn't ever feel defeat when I made a mistake. I felt like it was something I had to break down and I had to look at, and I had to move forward and not create that same mistake. Have I repeated those mistakes before? In the future, yeah, or again, yes, I have, but they've been very valuable lessons for me. My biggest challenges, and it's something that I'm actually diving in today, is learning to build an amazing culture. I mean, sometimes it's in your heart and it's in your head, but when you grow, you end up starting to separate yourself just a little. Because when I first opened the store, I was the owner, operator, I was the manager, I was the cashier, I was the produce clerk, I was a little bit of everything. One of my favorite jobs in the beginning. I would be so stressed and I wanted to go wash the dishes and mop the kitchen floor because I could get away from everybody. It was kind of my yoga moments at night. I would meditate to myself. And I miss those days. But now we've grown into a corporation where I had to figure out what is that centerpiece, that pivotal piece where the community is still the heart of the store. I'm still part of the store, but I'm the visionary. So now I can't really work in the business, but I can work on the business. How do I adapt my employees and pull them along with the same culture when I'm not there every single day? And that's been some of the biggest challenges that I've gone through. Been undercapitalized, having to stop working inside the business and then focusing on working on the business. Growing a little bit too fast, up until I opened. Even also wearing too many hats when you know that you should be having other people assist you. That was probably 6 years ago, I hired a COO, which I think many people know, Kim Totsky. She's a great ally for the LGBT community.
Kim has been a pivotal part of our chamber a long time.
Yes.
I mean, as have you, but Kim came in and was at every event that we did, and Turnip Truck was, working with the chamber. You really did assemble a team. And what I keep, just smiling about, John, is one, that you're sharing these stories with our members and with the rest of the community to talk about entrepreneurship and growth and following your dream, but you're really bringing some leadership ideas and issues that leaders and people that run companies are faced with, some real insight and knowledge, and I really appreciate it. And I'm taking some of these things down to say, oh, hey, John, we're going to go to have a drink after this, and you're going to help me figure out some of these things. And what's also great about you and your team you've assembled is you have always been there for anybody else in the community to talk and mentor. And you talked about that which was what was important at the beginning, was having a good mentor. Yes.
And I even have new mentors now. It's sometimes you have to engage a different mentor as well, and see different perspectives.
Now, one of the things that you are not good at, and I've been upfront with you on this for several times, is bragging about yourself or talking about yourself, and just, what a great company you have created, talking about your hard work and how hard you do work and how great your team is and everything that you've achieved. You openly admit that you're not great about talking about yourself. So I love to talk about you. The chamber loves to feature you and highlight you. I do want to mention that you are our 2017 Entrepreneur of the Year. You won the business award for that. And your company, the Turnip Truck, also won in 2017 for small business diversity. So we're going to brag on you there. But I also want to bring in this challenging yourself. You are the first LGBT-owned business and member of ours that has been accepted into the Entrepreneur Organization, the EO. You got involved in that last year, and you're at the next level this year. Talk a little bit more about the EO and then other professional development programs that you've been a part of and what's really helped.
Oh, wow. Last year I decided I needed some external help. I've created the COO, I created the CFO position, but I really did not know how to dive in and be a CEO of my company. So I took the Catalyst program from the EO, and which Dr. Michael Burcham, which everyone knows, he's so amazing. And I went through Catalyst in the middle of COVID. Our first few meetings were in person, and we went to Zoom. And it really pulled me back to look at my business and be able to look at it at a different perspective. I always felt I'm a grocery store, is like, what do I relate to some of the other business? But I'm a business. So it really opened my mind. And with that, I started meeting some other people, and it was quite amazing. I decided to join the EO this year. I'm just joined a forum that I'm really, really excited about being part of. And part of the forum aspect is that you have a group of individuals that meet once a month, and there's a whole level of accountability. And they're kind of like your executive board for you, and it's amazing having that. And I'm really excited about that as well. I'm actually sitting in an EO seminar as we speak for the last 2 days, and I'm headed back to it later this afternoon, and excited about that. I'm also very happy that we took the time out and filled out the paperwork and became a certified LGBT business. And for many years, I've had lesbian, I've had gay, I've had transgender, we have African American. We never turned the door to anyone, and it's been an open door. And I love that we could put that certification on ourselves, and it just made me feel really, really proud. One thing I tell Joe, though, I'm very proud of being an LGBT chamber member. I'm too busy trying to run my business to worry about all the things that you guys worry. And I feel like I have the security blanket around me with the LGBT, and I think it was very critical. I actually questioned myself the other day, why didn't I join the LGBT 20 years ago? But, there's always a right time for things, and I joined at the right time. And it's when I really needed to be part of the LGBT chamber.
Well, we love supporting you and having you be a member, to be such a wonderful member, and to be an LGBT Business Enterprise certified. You were one of our first LGBT BEs. And we, 20 years later, here is the Turnip Truck. I think we have some photos of our ribbon cutting that we were lucky enough to come over and do. There we are. There you are, cutting the ribbon at the Charlotte store 1 year after the opening. Doing our fist bump. What's funny is you can't see the scissors in this picture like you could in some others. And it looked like you were holding a giant knife. The number of people that were like, John looks like he's going to stab you.
Yeah, it looks like you're double checking to make sure I wasn't going to stab you.
We were elbow bumping because we were still following COVID guidelines, and we did a socially distanced ribbon cutting. There are some board members of the chamber and your leadership team and your husband there cutting the rainbow ribbon outside the doors. Yes. It was just a great day to celebrate you, 1 year after the tornado and COVID and your first opening, to celebrate with the 1 year anniversary opening, was a really special day. And here we are now in May and your official 20th anniversary. There we've got some swag.
Yes. I love on the swag, if you go back one picture, Bryce McLeod, which is a really cool, great artist. If you guys don't know him, look him up. We got with him together this year to kind of do something for the 20th anniversary. And we've always used the little man that says, established in 2001. So what we created is our little man, the Turnip Truck, the truck we have, but we really love our bees. So we incorporated bees on top of the organic produce. And there's a different banner that we have on our building now, but the little two guys are leading a parade to celebrate our 20th. And so the bees are like helping us celebrate, and it's fun. It's fun for the kids. It's, right now is the time that we need to educate our children on what local and what organic is and what they put in their body and stuff. So we're trying to make it fun here.
Amen. I love that. Thank you. Not just for kids. I'm loving that story, and I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that about that. Very talented artist.
That's Bryce.
There's the bees.
Yep, celebrating 20 years. I love his work. That was something we had in the store that we took down, and Kim and I were just holding it up, being silly. Reasons why we saved the bees, which are round upstairs. We lost 4 beehives during the tornado. We got down to 3, and we're now back up to 8 hives on the rooftop.
Wonderful.
We love the bees.
Wonderful. I think we have a 20th anniversary breakdown slide, and I want to hear more about what's going on for the 20th. There it is. Tell us more about your 20th anniversary.
Absolutely. We spent the last 3 months just planning what we wanted to do. We wanted to have a big celebration, which our 20th anniversary date is this coming Saturday on the 15th. With COVID and the protocol, we just didn't feel comfortable having a big celebration where we felt that too many people would gather. I would love to have as many people in the store as possible, but I also want to respect where we are in today with the COVID and the protocol. So we decided to celebrate one day for each year. And so we've been celebrating from May 1st to May 20th. Every day we've had some really cool things. There's some giveaways. There's some amazing BOGOs. Like today I was just going with Lauren. our BOGOs today. If you've never had the bitchin sauce, it is so amazing. It's made out of almonds, and there's so many different flavors. So it's buy one, get one, which is really cool. The Dr. McCullough supplement line. There's the elderberry, which is great for immunity, and there's a BOGO on that as well. Every day we've been giving away $100 gift cards, so we've already given away 12 plus gift cards. Today we're actually giving away 2 gift cards, and to sign up for that, come inside the store. There's a box, drop your name, number, take part of some of the exciting deals. There's a ton of deals that is going on as well, and this is going to go into the 20th. And I think, I guess Lauren's pulling this up. One thing that I'm very proud of that we also did in the middle of the COVID is we have a online shopping with delivery. You can pick it up curbside, or you can have it delivered to your house. You can order anything out of the store, including beer and wine. And Joe knows all about that. There's some struggles with that in the beginning, but we're actually one of the first in the state of Tennessee to be able to be licensed to carry and sell alcohol and deliver it to your house. So we're very excited about that as well. So,
and just to tell everybody, I'm smiling and laughing because that was another piece of advocacy that we did this legislative session. It wasn't just all fighting the anti-LGBT discriminatory bills. We actually got to lobby and work on behalf of one of our members on an important subject, getting wine delivered.
Yes.
So,
and during COVID, we also did wine and cheese pairings and tastings that we have many people that would come online, and we're going to do that in the future. Look for our Instagram or Facebook, and we will also be doing this again in the future. I think the next one that we're going to do, we're talking with Diskin Cider and doing a cheese and cider pairing, and it's kind of virtual as well.
we love our members over at Diskin. They're great members, local as well. I love that you hit on the local and how important it is to support local businesses. I love the Turnip Truck, as do many other people. I want to share some comments and get to questions. So if you're out there watching, please submit your questions in the comment section on whatever platform you're watching on, and we'll ask those to John. But Matthew Shaw says, the Turnip Truck is my favorite grocery store ever.
Thank you, Matthew.
And Adriana Flax says, same.
Thank you, Adriana. I love this.
People love you. You do have very passionate customers. They do love you.
Thank you.
Annie wants to say shout out to the West Side store. And the other thing is you have incredible is your staff. Love the store, and it's all part of the entire package, but your staff does go above and beyond when you walk in that door. If you have not been, they love you. Adriana says a huge fan of the truck, and she didn't know that story about the Charlotte opening. So I'm glad you have shared all of your stories today, John.
My pleasure.
We have a question from Selena over at Connect. What would you do differently if you could go back knowing what you know now?
What would I do? I would have let go of some of my control early on and mentored more people and elevated them to help me. I think my holding on to a lot of the positions and a lot of the jobs and mindset really worked against me, and it worked against the culture that I was trying to build. And that would be probably the biggest thing. And we're in an aha moment right now that we found one more position that we truly need in our store is an amazing HR director to help maintain that culture as I'm out dreaming and being a visionary of what my platform looks like in Nashville.
It's about building that team and
Yes.
being a leader. And we can definitely see from today in this conversation, you are a leader and a very successful business owner and CEO. So congrats, John, on an incredible 20 years with the Turnip Truck. We may have, we do have one more question coming in. And if there's more, keep them coming. Talisha says, as a new business owner working on hiring a few new employees, I really appreciate this answer. Congratulations. So not a question, but a thank you for offering the details and knowledge that you've presented to us today. John, I just want to say congrats again, and thank you for being a part of the chamber, and thanks for doing our Member Connect today, and for just everything. I mean, I appreciate you so much. And I'm excited to see where the Turnip Truck is in a year from now. I think there's some big things happening, and then
there is.
We'll talk to you about at the 25th anniversary, the 30th, and so on down the road. I wonder how many stores you'll have at your 40th anniversary.
Oh, we'll see.
Franchise all across the country.
Yeah. I don't know yet.
You're the next Trader Joe's. I'm calling it right now.
I honestly, I appreciate having the opportunity to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us for May's Member Connect. We have one more Member Connect coming up for you in June, and we're going to take some time off in July and August. We sure have enjoyed these Member Connects, and we hope you have too. If you would like to be featured, reach out to us and let us know. If you're not part of the LGBT Chamber, we'd love to have you join as a member. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon. Pride Month is coming up, so go check out all the events we have coming for June and Pride Month, and get vaccinated. Thanks, everybody.